ANC has managed to hold on to KwaZulu-Natal's economic hub, the Ethekwini Municipality. Mxolisi Kaunda was re-elected as the executive mayor in a closely contested mayoral race with the DA's Nicole Graham. So with the 2024 general elections on the horizon, let's get the lay of the land with ANC KZN Provincial Secretary Mdumiseni Ntuli, who joins us live this morning. Mr. Ntuli, thanks very much indeed for your time on the AM report. I mean, the big story coming out of Ethekwini this morning is, number one, the ANC being able to retain that area, Mxolisi Kaunda's re-election, certainly one of the big story. The other one is around allegations of vote buying by the ANC. What's your response?
Well, thank you very much. Good morning to you and good morning to viewers at home. I think it's very important that I should convey our congratulations as the African National Congress to a very united and devoted ANC caucuses of 95 solid detachment that attended the council meeting yesterday, and equally congratulate a number of small parties, the leaders of our people who are leading the small parties in Ethekwini, all of them who were very, very determined that they are going to work with the ANC for us to succeed. We knew that at the end of the process, the IFP will have a difficulty to graciously accept defeat of this unholy alliance they were leading together with the GA and the EFF. And I saw a clip yesterday where the regional chairperson of the IFP was making these strange allegations that they were being offered money in order to vote with the ANC. It's a blue lie. The IFP thought that they were going to be kingmakers in this province, and because naturally they are always working very hard to depose and destroy the African National Congress, they thought that this was a golden opportunity for them to achieve that objective, which didn't happen. And I'm sure, besides that, they are saying now there were money offered to them. Just what? They are going to look for another explanations to justify their defeat, which they are going to be suffering in the next few days when we move on to the north to take over some of the districts that are currently under their leadership.
I mean, we had our Nicole Graham at the council meeting yesterday, and he was in conversation with a whole range of people. Two of those people will be joining us a little later on the program as well. The DA's Dean McPherson and the IFP will also be speaking to us a little later. Mdumiseni Ntuli will speak to us. But they will no doubt tell us the same thing that they told Nicole Graham yesterday at that council sitting. In fact, Mdumiseni Ntuli going as far as to say he knows that smaller parties were approached by the ANC yesterday with offers of money, and that includes the IFP itself. How do you deny something that seems to have been an open secret at the council sitting?
You see, it's important that, and I think you in the media will have to play your role effectively as well in order to help South Africans to be able to ascertain facts and distinguish between fictions and facts. When somebody says that we've been offered money and that person makes that allegation in the media, I think it is important that you must then say to them, can you demonstrate any shred of evidence where that was done? Because if you don't do so, if you are only expecting the ANC to defend itself against allegations that have never been tested and will not even be tested to succeed, and you want the ANC itself to prove that we never offered anybody money, I think you are making these people to really, conduct themselves in a way, conduct politics in a dirty way and in a way that is not consistent with what all of us are supposed to do. We couldn't offer anybody money. We come from the elections, we had no money, we've never done so. We've said this right from the onset, that if we were to work with all small parties in the provinces, we have always been working with them, we're going to defeat this unholy alliance of the Democratic Alliance as well as the IFP and the EFF. I expect them, particularly the IFP, it's very, very painful for the IFP to see what is happening currently in the northern part of the province and what is yet to happen in the Zululand district, in Mkhanyakude district and many other areas where they are going to suffer another defeat. And we're going to go back and reverse some of the municipalities where they succeeded to win on the basis that they were colluding with the small parties in order to displace the ANC. I want to emphasize this point. When somebody says, I have offered you money in order to give me this interview, you equally have a responsibility to say, just prove to this country, prove to our people that these are the actions that were taken, in which you can therefore confirm that this is a conduct that usually happens when somebody is offering money to somebody. These people have been defeated. Our people in this city have rejected the leadership of the Democratic Alliance with their partners, which is the EFF and the IFP, because the EFF and the IFP are working with the Democratic Alliance merely to destroy the future of black people and African people in general. And this is not for the first time. Historically, the IFP has always been working with the enemy. There's evidence to that. I can expand on it. We were not surprised that this time around they're working with the DA and the EFF. Of course, we can't characterize strictly the EFF as the enemy, but what the DA stands for and represents is diametrically opposed to the interest, the fundamental interest of black people and Africans in this country.
I want to ask you around the issue of, the victory that was retained by Mxolisi Kaunda yesterday, just 9 votes, winning him the re-election to the mayoral seat, right? And the person who is now said to have delivered that victory is the ABC's Philani Mavundla. I'm talking about the Abantu Batu Congress for the sake of our viewers here. So take us through. Can I ask you the question around just the reportage and the framing around this victory? So Ntokozo Sibiya, he resigned, didn't he, at the last sort of 11th hour. He had been elected to the executive committee. That was at Monday's sitting when he submitted his resignation. That position then filled by Philani Mavundla. Now, on Monday, according to my understanding, there was an agreement between Philani Mavundla and other opposition parties that they would vote against Kaunda for mayor. Following the collapse of Monday's meeting and his appointment to the executive committee, that changed. Can you read the situation for us?
Let me explain the situation in the manner in which I understand it. I don't know whether Philani Mavundla, the APC president, had entered into that kind of an agreement with the DA, EFF, and the IFP, because we were not party to those discussions.
Right. They are on record saying that they had an agreement with him. Just for your view, yeah.
All right. The ANC has 95 councillors. When we voted on Monday, there are small parties which are led by people who made a commitment right from the beginning that we can never allow a situation where we give the seat of Ethekwini, the Durban Metropolitan Municipality. And those people voted with the ANC for the ANC to acquire more than 100 votes, while it has got 95 councillors. But the ANC was still engaging other political parties, including the ABC, to say to them, the ABC, which people do not know, the ABC made a commitment right from the beginning that they are going to work with the ANC. The only time at which they were not unhappy with the ANC, they were not happy with the ANC, was when the ANC decided to enter into an arrangement with the IFP, as a consequence of which it made it impossible for the APC to acquire and lead the municipality in the northern part of the province, in fact in Greater, where they had said to the ANC, everywhere we exist, we are going to support you, but in Greater, we want you to support us to lead that municipality or to work with you. Now, when we entered into an agreement with the IFP, they went there and punished us. And they said, well, we are now working with the IFP. You might as well allow us to work with the IFP. Hence, the municipality was then handed over to the IFP. But we kept on saying to them, you can't say you are going to turn your backs on a strategic relationship that you have with us, because this APC and other small parties, some of them are coming from the African National Congress, people who have been leaders of the ANC. So we said to them, you can't work with the IFP, you can't work with the IFP and the DA, because you know where do they want us to go. And when the IFP pulled out, in fact, they did not pull out. They dishonestly remove the ANC-led council in Newcastle on Monday morning. That's when I sent a message to all our structures in the province. I said, look, everywhere we are, we must no longer work with the IFP because they are the first one to violate a decision that was taken by the ANC national leadership in the negotiations with the IFP. And then ABC and all other small parties that were unhappy, that were NFP and everybody else, that were saying, look, we could have acquired Nongoma working with you. We could have acquired district working with you. But we said we could have acquired Ukashamba, but we said because you are saying we are working with the IFP, we might as well stand back and allow you to work with. Now that we are saying the IFP is doing exactly what we told you they will do, we're coming back to you. And then we decided as the ANC, because right from the beginning, we have always internalized the fact that in the context of negotiations, the ANC will have to lead that process. And part of doing that is what is called give and take. That the ANC will have to make certain concessions. And one of these concessions, which we had made from the beginning, was that if we work with the IFP in Ethekwini and elsewhere where we're a leading party, they are going to receive a position of the MPEC to chair that, to be the chairperson of that committee. But when the IFP reneged, as I'm saying, we then said we need to rework this. We can't say we're going to work with every party on the basis of what we had agreed with the IFP. So we said to the ABC and other small parties, look, we are prepared to avail a position in the executive, including the position of a deputy mayor. And we know that all of you are very loyal to us. We push you away to that strange alliance on the basis that we were working with one of the elements within that alliance. If you come back to us, we're prepared to give to you a position of a deputy mayor of Ethekwini, and then we'll work together and build a stable council from here to go. And you see, I'm saying this is what we said to the small parties, despite the fact that eight of them kept on saying, we will vote with you, we don't want you to give us any position. We want you to provide services to our people. We know that the DA will not be able to take care of the interest of black people in general and Africans in particular in this city.
Mr. Ntuli,
that is how it went.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for this discussion. I'd like to unpack some of the other issues around what you're just saying, especially because it is widely reported that Philani Mavundla had approached the DA for an EXCO seat in exchange for his support. The DA then refused, and then the situation unfolded with the African National Congress. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for our discussion.